to GTV Africa live from Abuja. I'm Bemiga Olamikon, Center for Democracy and Development, Election Analysis Center, is addressing pressmen, and this briefing is on 2022 Osun State governorship election. At this briefing, as I said, the experts will be providing insight, perspective on the issues that played out at the Osun State election that was just concluded. Let's listen to them and hear from them. I'm Bemiga Olamikon.
On the basis of data received from CDD-EAC field observers, CDD confirms that the collation process leading to the declaration of the governorship election result by INEC was smooth and free of hitches. There was significant improvement in INEC's election logistics and poll opening time, and the conduct, as well as the conduct of INEC officials. For example, critical materials were promptly distributed across all the local governments. INEC indicates that 827 votes were accredited out of 1,952,387 registered voters for the election, representing 42.37% turnout. This is an improvement over the 36.74% voter turnout recorded in the 2002 governorship election, and it's also a marginal improvement over the voters' turnout of 41.34% recorded in the 2018 Osun governorship election. In most of the polling units observed by CDD-EAC, observers across the 30 local government areas, INEC officials arrived early, some as early as 6:32 a.m., and started setting up their workplaces and removing posters of political parties. Only a few polling units reported late arrival of critical election materials. One of those at the isolated areas was the Ward 6, polling unit 6, Osun, where only 490 ballot papers were provided instead of 494 accredited voters. However, INEC officials successfully resolved this issue to the satisfaction of the party's agent. INEC logistics and preparation, as well as the conduct of security agents, represent a marked improvement on the Ekiti State governorship election. The deployment of the bimotor voters accreditation system was successful in the Osun State governorship election. As at 6 p.m., that's on the election day, CDD-EAC observed that 84.3% of polling units covered had transmitted their result by beavers. Likewise, the INEC result viewing portal was in full operation for the uploading of results in most of the polling units. At about 10 p.m. on the election day, 99.7% of the results were available on the IRAN. This level of compliance is commendable and needs to be encouraged for future elections. With a few exceptions, the beavers work perfectly in almost all the polling units across the 30 local government areas. An important observation from the Osun election was the difficulties of the beavers in capturing and accrediting the elderly. It is recalled that this was the case in Ekiti election as well, where it either worked after several trials and waiting by the elderly or did not work at all. CDD-EAC observer reported district voting buying in Osun State election, in contrast with the brazen vote buying in Ekiti State, because of the presence of watchful anti-graft security personnel. CDD-EAC observers note with satisfaction the good conduct of security personnel in the election, who not only arrived at their duty posts on time, but also generally discharged their responsibility professionally. CDD observers reported substantial compliance with the provision for people with special needs, such as pregnant women and elderly voters, to cast their ballot first. In line with INEC guidelines, pool officials prioritize the elderly, pregnant women, and the disabled in most of the polling units. CDD also observed that INEC provided equipment, including the gray ballot guide, to assist voters and voters with disabilities cast their ballots, including the provision of braille voting cards. Observed did not make proper arrangement for voters with disabilities. In terms of gender inclusion, CDD-EAC notes that there was no female governorship candidates in the election, and only 6 women contested as deputy governorship candidates. CDD applauds the political parties which signed the peace accord as a mark of commitment to violence-free election. These commitments apparently raised voters' confidence about the security and safety during the poll. However, there remain several concerns relating to the conduct of political actors and the effects of their actions on the electoral process. Of particular concern are the lack of internal party democracy, the unprincipled cross-carpeting of politicians from one party to the other, the using of too many litigations to disrupt the smooth working of the process, and the attempt to buy voters. Instead of campaigning to win votes on the basis of issues, CDD is of the view that the political parties need to make the necessary adjustment with respect to this concern as the country moves towards the general election next year. In its preliminary statement, CDD-EAC expressed concern about the possibility that incidents of violence, money politics, and violation of incumbency power will affect the credibility of the election. CDD data revealed the manifestation of some of these issues. For instance, allegations of vote buying, including the arrest of some suspects, alleged to be involved in the act, were reported. There were also a few reported cases of violence in some areas, while 74.2% of our observers did not report any incidents. 3 instances of vandalism were recorded in Oye and Ilemeji local governments. Most of the 31 instances of bribery and violence reported by CDD-EAC observers took place in few local governments. Other edgy areas with instances of vote buying were noted. Fake news. Fake news hope for the July 16 Osun governorship election closely monitored online and offline spaces with the objective of tracking and fact-checking fake news and misinformation. A number of fake news stories, misleading captions for images, and the sharing of dead online links were used by partisan actors to mislead voters. Although the post-election atmosphere in Osun State has been generally peaceful and calm, CDD-EAC urges all key actors, notably the political actors, to maintain their peaceful disposition. From Ekiti to Osun, INEC alongside other key election stakeholders have collaborated to record significant improvement in the process. CDD urges the Commission and all the stakeholders to maintain and consolidate their cordial working relationship for the conduct of future elections. The milestones recorded in Ekiti and Osun may not be unconnected with some new innovations in the 2022 Electoral Act, notably the use of viewers arrive and announcement of the result at the polling unit, among others. The collaboration between ANEC and other stakeholders, especially civil society organizations and security agents, including anti-graft agencies such as the Economic and Financial Crime Commission and the Independent Corrupt Practices and other related offense commission, also contributed to the successful outcome of Osun election. As Nigeria marches towards the highly anticipated 2023 general election, all stakeholders must sustain the synergies which have contributed to the vast improvement recorded in Osun and Ekiti State. At the CDD, we hope to see improvements recorded in the recent election replicated in the conduct of the 2023 general elections. Thank you for
TV Africa, we've just heard analysis from the...
That is the statement from the CDD-EAC. As usual, I'll be happy to take observations, questions from all of you. Thank you. Any questions, comments?
You're on live to GTV Africa and live from Abuja. The House has just, the CBD has just given the report of the election, how it went, and what they are able to do within the time of the election, giving reports of
we cannot thank you all
happening at
for having worked
Osun
very
election.
closely with us over the past
Remember that
and we
a
hope
number
that
of 15 candidates
whenever we invite you
contested,
next time,
and the election
will
is
feel honored.
over.
I'm sure
The election is over, and I believe you have had reports of everyone of them. Well, till I bring to you another thing, I'm Bemiga Olamiko.
During this election process. So thank you. We appreciate it, and God bless you. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you.